One of the best things you can do when producing a song is to leave space for each sound to come out and avoid summing. When making music with any DAW, especially in Ableton Live, it's very easy to throw a bunch of loops in there and have them playing in sync and get the vibe going. The problem with that is that some loops might share a similar sound, which will be something you will have to address and repair when coming to mixing the song. In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve this problem so that your song will sound good already in the early stages. But before I'll do that, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Roy Perez, and I'm a music producer, sound designer, and an Ableton certified trainer. And in my videos, I do my best to shed some light on different aspects of music production and sound in general, and help out with things I see most of my students struggle with, which I'm sure many other producers as well. So let's head into live and look at how to leave space in the mix while working with audio loops. So here is an example of something that I see many people doing, especially in the beginning of producing music and working with audio clips. I got a few loops here in the session view of Live, and let's hear how they sound playing together real quick. And now let's listen to them one by one so we can hear how they all sound like. So here is the first clip. Now the second one. And the last one. Listening to them all at once might sound nice at first, but as you saw before, some of them share the same sounds. Almost all of them have kicks, snares, and hi-hats. And this will create a problem later on when I will come to mix this thing as a finished track or even wanting to add more sounds. Having similar sounds playing on top of each other, like for example kicks, creates something called summing, which means that we will increase the level of the low frequencies and create phasing issues, which is something we will need to correct once we're in the mixing stage. So let's talk about one of many ways that you can address this issue and solve it without the need for any mixing plugins like compressor, EQ, and so on. This technique will also help you to add more room in the song and basically avoid cluttering it with too much information, which, as I said, will cause problems when coming to mix the song. This technique is just one of many that can completely transform the way your music sounds. And it's one example of many different mixing tactics that I teach in my mixing and mastering program called Master Your Sound, which is the most in-depth 12-week program about mixing and mastering inside Ableton Live you can find. If you're looking for ways to get really good at mixing and mastering your music and being proud of how it sounds, I highly recommend that you check out our 3-day pre-course bootcamp, which is running very soon, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So, back to our audio loops. Before doing any changes, I'll duplicate the first scene so we can compare both versions before and after the edit. The important thing here is to decide which sound you want to keep and then which sounds will need to go out. And let's say that in this first clip, I would love to keep the kick and the clap. Then I'll need to go right here into the envelope section. And if you cannot see what I'm seeing right now, you need to make sure that you're on this tab. And what I'm going to do is to modulate the gain to go down right after the kick. Let's do that. Now let's hear how it sounds. And you can adjust it to taste. And now I'll duplicate the modulation curve using Command or Control and D. And let's do it along the clip and hear what we got. Sounds nice. I can hear that I have a tiny hi-hat going here, and I can cut this one too. So now we got only the kick and clap playing in this specific clip. And now let's move to the second clip. Here I need to make sure not to have the kick or the clap playing, and I'll just keep the closed hi-hat sound in between the kicks. So let's do the same as before and modulate the gain to cut out the parts I don't need. Sounds good. In the third clip, I'll keep the open hi-hat and get rid of the rest. What I can also do here is to shorten the clip, and then I will avoid having the tiny snares there, because it's anyway the same sound repeating. And let's move to the last clip. And here we got some nice percussion going. And let's skip the percussion and get rid of the rest. Here we also have a hi-hat, and what I can do is to minimize the volume, or I can completely cut it. And let's hear this option first. I like it more like that. Let's get rid of the snap that I have there. And now let's hear them all together. And this is how it sounded before. So I kept the same feel, but now I got much more space between the sounds to work with, and the mix will feel much less cluttered. And this is just the first phase of treating those loops. Now will be the time to go in and tweak the modulation curves I made to make it sound smoother. And I could also add some effects to linger the sounds like reverbs and delays to make it sound more natural. But the goal of not having them playing on each other was achieved. I can go ahead and add more sounds, and my mix will sound much better now.